Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to the Beyond the Hijab podcast.
Okay, alhamdulillah, we're here today.
It's been a while.
It has been a while, and there are a few things that inshallah we plan to talk about today. First one is social media. As a Muslim content creator, but also as a Muslim mom.
Yeah.
I feel like there are so many things that are put out there that are like lies. And you know what's so funny? I was talking to a big creator, and she was saying like how so many of these people that are like, you know, quit your 9-to-5, start content creating, you're gonna make like hundreds of $1,000s a month. She's like, it's all a lie. She's like, I'm at the like the growth that I'm at, like the size that I'm at, and I have like really good views. And she's like, you don't make that, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm like, and so it's constantly like frustrating. Why are people always being like, oh, I made this much and I made this much? And I'm like, I know you didn't. But I feel like us as Muslim content creators, it's harder for us to get brand deals.
Yes.
Because a lot of them don't really care to be with hijabis, you know? But then also like a lot of the Muslim brands, and I hate to say this, but they're not very giving. They're not generous. They're very cheap with like, they'll be like, do 5 videos for $100, you know?
And we get it. Like we get that we get majority of these businesses are small companies that are starting from the ground up, that are starting from their home. But then just don't expect too much. Don't expect the type of content and the amount of quantity that you would be asking like a huge influencer. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know if I worded that correctly.
I mean, I get a lot of startups, and a lot of the times I'm like, because it's a good cause, I'm like, okay, fine.
I'll do it. Yeah.
But then sometimes I'm like, okay, but we have to kind of slow this down because, okay, I will do the, let's say 2-3 videos, right? But I'm like, but then there's ads. They put a bunch of money on ads, and I'm not getting paid for any of that, you know? So it's like you're profiting for like a full year, if not even more, on an ad, you know?
So they're using money that they told us that they didn't have somewhere else.
Yeah.
So how is it fair that you benefit so much from our hard work and time, you know?
And then the thing with the video, it's like the video is not a one-time use. It's a video that they're using over and over and over again.
For months on end, sometimes a year.
So that's the part where I'm like, okay, now see, you start to learn things slowly. I mean, ChatGPT, I know we're not really supposed to use it, but that's like the number one place where we get a lot of our information and figuring out, you know? So sometimes I feel like I had to become a content creator to learn why some, unfortunately, hijabis, they go with brands that they shouldn't be going with, you know, which, by the way, I am not with. I will still not go with those brands just because they're going to pay me more. But it is discouraging sometimes because I'm just like, okay, is this it? You know what I mean? And then off of views, let's talk about the views. You know what's so funny? Me and her, we get so upset sometimes about the views because we're like, okay, you're not even paying us. Literally, we're getting paid so little. But the thing is we're not even worried about the money. We're literally like, and I don't want to say that we're not worried about the money. Of course, like we would love to make money off of it. But like
we're only moms with livelihood.
But we're turning in, like the way I like to word it, we're turning in these essays and we just poured our whole heart into it, and then we get Fs.
See, me similarly, I say it as an art project. Like I just created this beautiful painting that I took forever putting all this work and editing into. For me to show it to someone and be like, ooh. You know, and or not even want to look at it. So it's discouraging. It makes you start getting in your head. It feels like your art practice is not enough for people. And it's not good enough. You know? So that's why it's so difficult. Like I get it, you know, it's really silly to be like, oh my gosh, like why is my view so low? Why are my likes so low? And because it really feels like you're pouring your heart into something and someone is rejecting that thing.
Sometimes I think, I don't know if it's like we're too old for TikTok. Okay.
So sometimes,
right. And then the second thing is like, I think hijabis just don't really have that space on TikTok. Maybe Instagram is a little bit better, you know, but I just feel like it's more for younger kids. I mean, like, I swear to God, there's this girl that had 1 million likes and I don't know how many million views on a video of her brushing her hair. Like, and I'm like, this is what people watch. Like this sakhafa. I feel like, you know, it is sakhafa. So yeah, it is frustrating sometimes. But alhamdulillah, I mean, I enjoy it. That's like it's the fun part. But then seeing that grade every single time, I'm like, what's going on? But the algorithm is like its own monster, you know?
It is.
And you can't even tackle it. Yeah, you can't. There's no right equation. They'll tell you post at the high time or like the high view rate or whatever, or hour, whatever the heck it's called. Yeah. And then you do it and then you get nowhere, you know? So.
And then there's other times you just kind of get sick of following all the rules.
Yeah. And then you're like, just post.
Yeah, whatever. I'm just like, you know, I'm just going to post whatever I want, whenever I want.
Yeah. Sometimes, and then we still get upset. We still get upset because we're just like, well, why didn't it work? You know, I just put some.
It's because there's a tiny little sliver of hope somewhere in that's gonna work. Yeah. So when it does, you're like, neither works. Yeah. What am I supposed to be doing?
That's so true. The only comforting thing for me is when I see like bigger content creators and they complain about the same thing where their views are also low. So it's not us, alhamdulillah, but yeah, like sometimes
I think not.
I think not. I think not. I hope not.
I mean, I love your content.
Yeah, I love your content too. I'm like, why wouldn't anyone watch this? The quality is so good. You see other people who have videos they put out there and it has like thousands of views. I'm like, but this is not even a good video.
Yes,
it's not. The quality is not good. There's other like content creators. I am obsessed with them. I love them. And I'm like, the quality of their videos are so good. And they're not, their follower count is nowhere near where I feel like it should be, you know?
There's also the topic in question of boycotting. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Because then, okay, we have one place where there's Muslim small businesses that are trying to take advantage of us and, you know, they don't want to pay us because...
Oh, my God, I want to say something about that.
Like, they want to assume that because we are Muslim, we're doing it from the goodness of our heart. And alhamdulillah, we are. Yeah. You know, there's lots of brands where we've showed one another and we're like, oh, you know... They don't even want to pay me. But I believe in this cause. I believe in this brand. And I do think it'll be beautiful for people to have, to be aware of it. So I'm going to do it.
Most of the stuff that I have done, I have not got paid. Yeah, I've not got paid for it. And I'm like, it's a good cause, you know?
Exactly.
And you know what actually pisses me off about this? Because you will see new content creators who want to say bad things about influencers who pay too high and that they're on this high horse where they don't pay. Yeah, they charge too high, my bad. That they charge too high and that because they're, whatever, small business owner, that they wouldn't do that and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, you could be that person where you don't want to charge too high. That's fine. I get that. But I don't think that you should shame other people because while that Muslim hijabi who wants to charge high in your definition of high, another non-Muslim is getting paid $5,000 a month. Do you remember this guy? Yeah. And then after they finished their contract, he went and talked so bad about them. So I'm like, why are you guys talking crap about Muslims who want to get paid? Why shouldn't we get paid? Like, I don't understand it. Yeah. And then, of course, you know, she ends up getting backlash later on for influencing people. And I'm just like, subhanAllah, you know, you can throw all this dirt on these influencers, but now you're trying to be an influencer. Yeah. And then once you influence people and they don't like the thing that you're influencing, and now you're like, oh, well, you know, I'm an influencer influencing. Oh, okay, so now you know what it's like to be an influencer influencing. So don't hate so much on other people because you're going to be in that seat one day. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The thing is, I even hate calling myself an influencer, to be honest.
Oh, I don't call myself an influencer.
Same. I feel like I just want to put that out in the open for the both of us. Yeah. Because we don't do this because we want to influence people, because we want to, you know, I feel like there's a bigger context to our pages. God, especially with you, mashallah. Yeah, you know, it's like being able to connect to your deen and just through your videos. Yeah. And then for me, it's more so about trying to bring positivity, you know, to mom life and sharing the difficulties of it and trying to bring some inspiration and motivation when it comes to like cleaning and taking care of yourself mentally and, you know, talking about mental health and things like that. So it's just so hard when we put something out there that we truly care about, that we truly connect to on a mental and spiritual level, you know, and then people want to take that, they want to belittle it, they want to tear you down, and then for you to also put so much time and work into this, and then for people to be like, oh my gosh, and you want to get paid, you know, when the thing is, and then with the small businesses that are talking about content creators and influencers in that way. Okay, so if you don't want to pay a big influencer, you know, not that,
or you can't afford it,
and you can't afford it, you know, then go to the super small creators.
But be fair when you pay, you know.
Exactly.
Like, no one does any service for free. And this is like time, you know what I mean? I've done a few services for free and I regretted it. Not services, but like, you know, content creating, you know, like I did a video for them and I regretted it after. I'm like, I drove over 2 hours and I spent over like whatever amount of time. And I'm just like, it was not worth it for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So sometimes when it takes too much from me emotionally and like the time and away from my family, then I'm like, no, it's not worth it. I'm sorry. I will never do this ever again. You know? Yeah.
Or sometimes I think I'm doing something from the goodness of my heart, and I am.
Yeah.
But then what's hurtful is then I see another influencer with a paid partnership with the same brand.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe they're not Muslim, maybe they're not hijabi. But when I tried to ask you, hey, can I have just this much? And you and I, we don't charge ridiculous.
No, we don't.
You know, we're not like those people that are like, okay, $5,000 per one video. No,
we don't even go near the thousands.
We don't. We don't.
We don't.
God, I mean, you know, I'm just going to be transparent. For me, it's $275 a video.
Yeah.
You know, that's pennies to some of these. Do you remember I had a really big, I'm not going to name the brand, but there was a really large mom brand that reached out to me.
Yeah.
The first time I did it for free. The second time they reached out to me again and they did want it for free, but I told them, you know, you were obviously successful from the first one or you wouldn't be coming back to me. So I'm going to charge you this time. And they were against it at first.
Yeah.
And then we came down to $100, just $100. But even then, their response wasn't, okay, you know, I'll do this. They said, quote unquote, ugh, fine.
Yeah, I remember that. That was so rude. I was so pissed off about that.
Like, how is that respectful from a really large brand?
Yeah.
That obviously has, I mean, they have a product, you know, worth $500. So how are you telling me that just literally one person jumping onto Target to go buy that product?
Yeah.
That would have taken care of 1/5 of that price would have taken care of my video.
Yeah.
You know, so that's why it's just really,
they take advantage of us. I feel like
of us, and Muslims. It feels after time, it almost feels like it's disgraceful and humiliating.
It is.
Honestly.
Yeah, it is. I feel like going to a 9 to 5 is like, I would have more dignity.
Me too.
You know what I mean? Yeah, so I feel like they do take advantage of us. And I don't even want to say just the non-Muslim brands, some of the Muslim brands too, because sometimes I look at the things that they go, you know, pay, you know, people that are not Muslimin, and I'm like, well, why aren't you, you know, generous with us like that too? You know what I mean? So it is sometimes very discouraging. I remember this girl, she I think she was like at 90,000 followers, and she charged $1,500 for a video. You know, I have not until today come to that, close to that.
I haven't either.
And I'm at almost 150,000 followers, which whatever, you know, I almost like kind of give up on that, you know?
On that idea of being like influencer rich?
Well,
is that what you're saying?
Kind of, yes.
I have.
Yeah. I mean,
give up on it.
Yeah, like I really did think that I would be making more. Alhamdulillah. I'm not even complaining. I'm just like, alhamdulillah, it is what it is. You know, I enjoy doing content. It's just a very small side note. Umar Salman said, what are your goals for the ummah? Like, what are your goals, to try to change something in the ummah? I was like, wow, that's so amazing. And I'm like, you know, alhamdulillah. If anything, then I'll get that out of my content. You know what I mean?
Before I was even creating content, I was an art teacher, and it was to middle schoolers. And this one kid told me my life goal is to become famous YouTuber.
Yeah.
And I was like, but why? And he's like, to be famous. And I was like, but why? Why do you want to be famous?
Yeah.
And he was like, what do you mean? It's so cool to be famous.
Yeah.
And I was like, but how are you contributing to society in that way?
Yeah.
You think we're just here to make money? You know, it's so funny because you told me something amazing that every time I think about it, it's just so heartwarming. But when I'm feeling low on my views, you tell me, I don't think this content creation life is for you.
Yeah.
Of course, you're like, continue content, you know, but I don't think it feeds your soul.
No, it's not fulfilling for you. I think you're meant for bigger and better things, honestly.
When you tell me that, it's so heartwarming. Of course, there's a voice in the back of my head that I'm like, or maybe I just suck and she's trying to make me feel better.
No, not at all.
But so it's just interesting because I thought, because it was fun, you know, it did fulfill something when I first started it. But I think over time, and even yesterday when I was editing my vlog, and I texted you and I was like, do you ever get the thought of like, this is so silly. Why am I taking so much time editing this?
All the time.
What am I doing for society in doing this?
Yeah. Sometimes I feel like that with my vlogs. And I'm just like, what's the point?
I think that too. But then, okay, just this morning I was watching someone's vlog.
Yeah.
And I was like, God, this was so comforting.
Yeah, that's what I like about vlogs. But sometimes when I do my own, I'm like, oh, what's the point of this?
What's the point?
Yeah. I'm like, I spend so much time filming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. But then when I was watching a vlog today, there's so many times where I'm like, wow, this made me want to be productive. Yes. This made me want to take care of myself.
That's what I was going to say about your vlogs.
Yeah. So then when I see that, I'm like, God, I really hope that my vlogs could do that to people.
Yeah, it does.
You know,
the
people have told me that it does that for them.
Yeah.
So I'm like, alhamdulillah. Why not continue? They asked me, please tell me how you get up every day with the motivation to put your hijab on at home and vlog. And I was like, because I enjoy it.
Yeah.
There's truly nothing more to it. It almost feels like I'm doing life with a community.
Yeah.
You know?
You feel less alone somehow when you're filming.
As a mom. Especially during morning vlogs.
Yes.
When I wake up, you know, 6 a.m. and I'm by myself in my kitchen, it almost feels like I have an audience or community that's doing it with me.
Yes. That's why I loved content creating when I first started. I felt like I was on this high when I first started. It was so nice. And I want to say for a good... at least almost year. Yeah. And then it started dying down for me. And then I was like struggling again. But yeah, content creating is still fun. You know what I mean? I think when you stop looking at like the analytics, it becomes more fun again, you know, or like, oh, I have to stick to the specific niche. I'm like, well, why don't I just have fun with this and keep it at that, you know?
Yeah. Sometimes when I tell you, I'm sick of this, I just want to post whatever, whenever. Then what I think about is people who are not fond of me or waiting to watch me fail. Oh. You know, sometimes I think about them coming to my page and they're like, look at her. Like, she is failing.
That's a hard one.
You know, so that's a hard feeling. I think.
I feel like for me, this is why I have a hard time sometimes quitting, because sometimes I'm like, I think I'm just gonna quit all of this.
Me too.
And then I'm like, well, I didn't come this far just to come this far.
Exactly.
And I'm like, I'm not gonna quit. Yeah.
And I also imagine someone coming to me and being like, hey, remember when you tried doing content creation?
Oh yeah. No, remember what I was telling you the other day? I was like, you know, one day we're going to look back at this maybe 5 years from now. We're going to be like, do you remember when we used to stress out about this and start laughing at ourselves?
Or when I'm older.
When I'm older, yeah. We're going to be like good old times.
Yeah. I'm going to be like, that was so silly.
Yeah.
Why was I so stressed out and caught up with the engagement?
Yeah. I want to talk about cancel culture because it's so huge and it happens a lot, and
it's become toxic.
It's become very toxic, but it also happens in small circles. Okay, so not just the internet as a whole, but also between sometimes influencers or groups or whatever. And yeah, I came across this girl. Her name is B. So I don't even know her. I don't know any of these other people that she's mentioning. But the way that they all went and canceled her.
What's her name?
Biso. Beso. She's from the UK. With Beso, she was growing very quickly. She actually didn't know a lot of these people. She noticed that they were favoriting a lot of the stuff. And then they were copying things word for word. Okay?
Her friends?
They're not friends with her. They were just influencers.
Oh,
like they were actual content creators. Okay. And so she was growing really fast. And I guess she had this thing where people were relating to her. And so then that way they somehow, I don't know, targeted her in a way. And that's kind of like, you know, with me where I was growing really, really fast. SubhanAllah, like I didn't imagine this. I even like prayed before I started doing content. I said, Ya Allah, if this is bad for me in this dunya, like for my dunya and for my akhirah, then please take it away from me, you know? Too. And SubhanAllah, I'm like the videos just kept going viral and all that. And alhamdulillah, you know, I'm thankful for it. And I don't take my platform take it lightly. Like, I feel like it's a huge amount. And of course, like, I always want to put the right things out there. There's a lot of things that I have changed, like the way I talk and stuff, or the way I deliver, because I don't want my, like, whatever I want to put across to come across the wrong way. You know what I mean? Everything has, like, to be beneficial in a way. You know what I mean? So yeah, the cancel culture is very scary. And I think this is something people don't really understand until they're in it. Like, I remember one time, it's not just like the hate comments that you'll get, it's also the stitches. The stitches that you will get, oh my God. And it's like, then it becomes like rapid fire. And then people just want to go and like write the worst comments ever. And then that's when you want to like dig yourself inside a hole. You know what I mean?
Because they're tearing your entire character down.
And they don't, and that's a funny thing,
they don't even know you.
They don't know you. And you know, like, okay, like I talk about Islam a lot, and I think one main thing people will always tell me, like, they'll be like, hey sister, I want to tell you this, but like, don't judge me. And I'm like, I don't judge. Like, I don't, I love Islam, and I talk about Islam all the time. I'm like, I have my flaws, like, you know, like, you know my flaws, you know, you know some of my flaws, you know what I mean? But I'm not going to come be like, yeah, well, you know, these are my flaws, and you know, and it's okay. No, I have flaws, and I'm working on them all the time. But I'm definitely not going to be judgmental. I forgot where I was going with this. So like, people only know like a small portion of you, you know? And like, people don't even know the funny side of me, the goofy side of me, you know? People don't know. Like, when I did those recipes,
20% of us.
Literally, when people saw my those recipes that I was doing from 1400 years ago, they're like, oh, I didn't know that this was a side of you. And I'm like, yeah, you don't like know me unless we meet in real life. You know what I mean? I'm like joking, cracking up half the time. And then sometimes I'll say some weird stuff and be like, oh, this girl's crazy. We have so much more layers than just what you guys see. So sometimes it's hard. Some of the comments, like, I remember this yesterday, I was thinking about it on my walk. There was a video of this girl, she had twins, and she was like saying, like, this is what my night looks like. And as a mom, from one mom to another mom, I was telling her, I was like, this is my biggest nightmare. Like, I was trying, what I wanted to come across was like, I understand your pain, you know, like, this is so hard. This is literally like a nightmare. You know, this is so hard to go through.
You're letting her, you're trying to let her know that what she's feeling is valid.
Yes.
You are not belittling her struggle
at all.
It's like oppositely, you're telling her, this is so hard, I wouldn't be able to do it. Kudos to you.
Exactly. And then I told her, may Allah make it easy on you. That's what I said. That was my comment. And then someone was like, oh, this is like the type of comments that you're writing. Oh, I'm unfollowing you. I can't believe this comes out of your mouth, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, are you guys okay? Like, sometimes I want to understand how people take comments and they interpret it. And so I stopped commenting for a very long time. I'm like, I'm not even doing this. And I remember someone also like would go see where I would comment on someone's videos, and then she would write, you are a blank hater. And I was like, no, I'm not. She's like, you only comment on specific videos, but you don't comment on another specific videos. And that was so crazy to me. And I had to go message the creator, the content creator, and I was like, hey, I just want you to know this is not true. You know what I mean? I don't know where the hell these people are coming up with crazy stuff, but it's infuriating because then I have to go explain myself, and I feel like I'm constantly over-explaining myself, and I'm already an over-explainer, okay? I feel like when I say stuff, I'm already explaining myself very well. So it's very irritating. And then you get, of course, your regular spiel hate comments. And those ones I actually can shoo away. I'm just like, whatever.
Some of them even make me laugh.
Yeah, I'm like, whatever.
I'm just like, oh, this one's good.
Yeah.
And it makes me laugh.
Yeah.
But then there's some, when they attack my character, they attack just my integrity.
Yes.
You know, or my...
or your intentions or your heart. You know what I mean?
Just something that is so close to your heart.
Yeah.
That's, like, they know, some of them, they know to hit where it hurts.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's when it tears me down, and I'm like, wow, I'm just brokenhearted over this, you know?
Yeah, some things I've cried over it.
Same.
You know, and my husband's like, are you okay? It's just a comment. And I'm like, you don't understand until you go through it. Like, the amount of hate, we really need to do better as Muslims. assume good of the person who's posting this content. You don't know what someone's struggling. Like, you know how many content creators that I follow, I love them. They don't wear the hijab, okay? I'm going to put that out there. They don't wear the hijab. But I know from the way that they talk, the way that they are, that they have such good manners. They have such good hearts. And I'm always encouraging in the comments. And then you look at the other comments and they're like, oh, you're only like Muslim in Ramadan, or you're only this in Ramadan, or whatever. They just say hateful stuff. And then a video comes out months later, and then the girl's like, yeah, I'm trying to dress more modest because I want to wear the hijab. You don't know how long this girl has been working towards wearing the hijab. So stop writing these disgusting comments, because it is harmful. It is harmful.
And it truly is a journey.
Let me just add one little thing. Dawah starts with kindness. If you really want to invite people to Islam, that's how I was invited to Islam, okay? Because I've heard it where it was very rough, and I was like, I don't want anything to do with this. Yeah, that's how I was when I was young. And then I started learning. Like that. And then I started learning the stuff about Islam. Well, now see, when I hear it like rough that way, I'm like, hold up. I'm like, I know Islam. That's not Islam. Exactly. And I go research it. I'm like, no. You're not going to do that. No. And you're not going to spread that either. So now I'm like, I'm always like, if you want to invite people to Islam, be kind. Because that's how people are gonna actually take it. Also, Allah, the way He talks to us is never like Jahannam. The way Allah talks to us is kindness. Use that same exact language. Exactly. You know?
I remember there was this one person. They told me, what did they say? They told me I was committing shirk.
Oh, I remember that.
I was like, what?
Someone told me something like that, but I can't remember what it was about.
I've gotten a few comments like that. They say, okay, you're committing shirk by showing yourself praying online.
Oh, I remember that.
And I was like, do you even know my intention as to why I show that? The reason why I show myself praying online is, which I don't do that often.
Me too, yeah.
But when I show it, it's because, one, I want people to be able to see that as a reminder to get up and pray.
Yes, encouragement.
Exactly.
That's what it is for me, motivation.
Exactly, because there's a lot of times where I've seen content creators post something just so beautiful about Islam, about Salah, and when I see it, I'm like, God, I want that feeling.
Me too.
I want that.
Yeah.
So you know what? This has encouraged me. I want to go do it.
Yeah.
And the amount of times that I have people that have private messaged me and told me, because of you, I started trying to pray.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's why I show it.
Yeah.
So who are you to come on my page and know my intention and saying that I have committed shirk?
Yeah.
So I told that person, I was like, how about you work on your character and the way that you speak to people before pointing fingers about anything?
Yeah. And you can't do that. That's haram.
Exactly.
To say, because like we always have to remind ourselves what our intentions are when we post these things, right? And who is the only one who knows what's in the heart?
Yeah, Allah.
That's it. You are not Allah. You can't come tell me what I meant, and you can't tell me what I intended with this. Only Allah knows, you know? And we purify our intentions every single time. Do you know how much dua we have to make all the time? Like, we second guess some of the stuff that we post, like about like the praying. Do you remember? You were like, I don't know if I want to post this. You know how many times I actually feel bad when I do daily vlogs and I don't show me reading Quran or doing ibadah, but then at the same time I'm like, I also don't want to show that because I don't know how it's going to get interpreted.
Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Because remember, there was a time where I was like, okay, I'm going to stop showing myself praying. And then someone commented, being like, it was on my morning routine. They're like, what, you don't pray Fajr? I was like, these people are never happy.
I'm just, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
Yeah, so it is so frustrating because it's like, so that's why you truly just have to go with your own intention and what you feel is right in your heart.
Yeah.
And the thing that I love about us is, you know, we both had this conversation where if we feel like for a second that the dunya has influenced us to want to create or do something in front of the camera, we don't post it.
Yes.
Or after we've posted it, we'd be like, you know what, this doesn't sit right with me, I'm going to take it down.
Yeah.
And we do.
Yeah. You know, there's like, okay, so when I first started, okay, I want to say not this Ramadan, that past Ramadan before it, okay? After that, I quit listening to music. Before, I used to listen to music, you know, every now and then, not like all the time, like mostly like when I would work out, okay? So I didn't really think think about, okay, when I post this video, like with me wearing this dress or whatever, that there's music in it, okay? It made the video look good. This was me when I first started. When I tell you a few days ago, someone commented from a video from 2024, okay? 2024. They're like, you should delete this video because there's music in it. Blah, blah, blah. But why are you stalking my stuff? This is what I want to understand. Why are you stalking my stuff? And then someone else one time send me a message. They're like, your repost has music in it. My reposts are all stuff about Palestine. If the person who posts something that is actually important and they put a stupid song in it, يعني أنا شو أعمل?
And it's also, not like the song is vulgar. It doesn't have vulgar lyrics, doesn't have curse words.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I don't know. I guess like people put music. Sometimes people put music, I guess, to like add to the huzon, which whatever, you know. But the thing is, I'm not even thinking about the song. I'm listening. I'm looking and reading what it says, and I'm so affected by it. I repost, okay. And the thing is, especially with stuff like Palestine, Lebanon, and Sudan, and Congo, and all these places, I am not a person that knows how to talk about politics. Like I'll ramble, you know. So if someone else could do it better than me, I'm going to repost, and I want to spread it. And get it out there, you know? So sometimes it's so frustrating. But when I saw that, I was like, you know what? Fine. I delete it because sometimes I do take these comments into consideration. Those videos, the old ones of the music, I told my sister actually, after I think I stopped listening to music, I was like, if I die, I think even before that, I was like, if I die, all the videos that have music in it, make sure you delete them because I don't want them to be. Okay. I don't want to get say ads for it, you know. So I do want to delete them, but the thing is, with the algorithm, if you start deleting videos, it messes up your entire page. So I have to figure out how to do it the right way, you know.
What we're trying to say about cancel culture is it shouldn't be like this all or nothing thing. Because yes, there are some people who should be canceled. You know. So for example,
I don't want to say canceled. I think that they should be educated. You know what I mean? But not
there's
canceled.
Some people, but I'm not talking about like influencers though, like Trump.
I was literally gonna say Trump.
Okay, like Trump. Trump should be arrested, canceled, and arrested. You know, but long behold, you still have people that are in love with him, calling him our savior.
لأنهم مجانين.
They are.
لأنهم مجانين.
So that's what I'm saying. Like people like him and the actions that he has done and continue to do so, and the words that come out of his mouth, people like him, yes, they should be canceled, you know. But then you also have to think about people who have done something in the past and have never repeated it again. That's when forgiveness comes into play.
Understanding, you know? And being human.
Exactly.
Like, you want to tell me not one person in this world has not committed a sin or not made a mistake or not,
exactly, you know? Has said something accidentally,
out of anger.
Because even now, like, we did talk about we want to hold ourselves accountable. We want our videos to, you know, do X, Y, and Z. But at the end of the day, we are still flawed humans. Where, you know, and alhamdulillah that I do have you as a friend, because there's lots of times where I have made videos talking about some issue where I get too amped up about it and maybe I use the wrong words, and then I'm able to show you and you're like, don't post that.
Don't do it. I did it before. Big mistake. But it's because we talk through passion. I understand the message that you're saying, but I know how everyone else is going to take it. And so that's the thing.
Certain people could,
but you know what the thing is too? I think people think the minute that you're a content creator, you are put on this like level pedestal. This pedestal, and you have to be perfect. Like you cannot make a mistake. Like so many people used to be like tabarruj to me about like I stopped wearing makeup. Now I wear very, very light makeup, and then you'll still get like hate for it. And I'm like, you know what? Like, okay, you do better. You do better. You be the example. How about that? But you know, we're working on it. It's not like you want to tell me I'm not allowed to work on it. You're telling me I'm not allowed to struggle. But you're struggling. I don't know what you're doing in private. You have now that privilege of privacy. I put myself out there in the public. I don't have that privilege anymore. You know what I mean?
And then some people are gonna watch it and be like, well, you chose to. I've heard that a lot.
One thing I did not sign up for when it came to content creating, because I was like, I'm just here to have fun. I'm gonna create content. I wanted to fulfill myself and get myself out of postpartum depression. I did not know That one, I'm going to be recognized when I go out. Okay, this one, we have to talk about this one, okay? I did not think I was going to be recognized. I did not think that every time I go out, I'm scared that someone's going to take pictures of my husband, of my daughter. These are the things that I'm always scared of. I'm like, I don't want to, sometimes my husband would be like, you want to eat in the restaurant? I'm like, no, I don't want to eat in the restaurant because I'm scared that someone's going to come up to me. Or like some family members that I have here, I have not told them that I do TikTok. I know that they know, but I have not openly talked to them about it. When people come up to me, like while we're at a restaurant or I'm out with my family, it makes me super uncomfortable because I'm like, oh my God, like, I don't know. It makes me uncomfortable. Like, I now don't even have the privacy of like when I go out to drink. What if one day I go out to drink coffee, I look like crap? Sometimes, hey, I'm a mom. I want to be in sweats and I want to look like crap. We look like bums. Okay, so this is a part you did not think. Like, I mean, I wouldn't consider myself famous, but sometimes people tell me that.
I know some people, like, with some people, I feel like because even before when I was a content creator and I would see some people talk about that, I'm like, oh, really? You're famous?
Yeah,
like, people notice you? I'm like, calm down. So I really hope that's not how we're coming across.
No,
because what we're saying is...
Because we're in Chicago. You guys have to understand we have a huge Arab community.
There's a huge Muslim community here.
Run into everybody. Yeah. And the fact that your videos on TikTok, they're pushed out locally, okay? Before anywhere else. Yeah. So that everybody knows you. And I did not know this.
For me, I wouldn't say everybody, but
okay. Oh no, not everybody. Everybody. Yeah. It's so funny. I used to always say like everybody. My sister's like, who's everybody? I'm like, it's just 2 people. I'm like, hello. Obviously, I don't know that many people, but yeah, that part is really hard, and sometimes I regret. That's the only thing that I regret.
Yeah, no, same. There's just some things that pour into your real life that makes content creation really scary.
Yes.
Like when I got sick and then I got a call from my son's school telling me, okay, he's not allowed to come into school because we saw on social media that you're sick.
Yeah.
I was so embarrassed.
Yeah, I would be mortified.
I was literally crying for like a week. I wanted to delete everything from them.
Yeah.
And then the other time where I was at the grocery store and this lady, she was really nice, okay? She was really nice. She was really kind. But she started pointing at me and practically yelling in the grocery store, this lady's famous. She's famous. And I was like, no, I'm not. Please stop.
Yeah.
Like, don't do that.
But I don't know why anyone would think that that's okay to do.
Especially with my son.
Yeah.
You know? And then people started looking at me and like, they're like who is that? I was like, I just got 20K followers.
Oh my God.
That's it.
Oh my God. It's so embarrassing. Yeah, see, this is the type of behavior I don't like. You know, you can come and say like, hi, you know. My husband's always so funny. He's like, do you want me to ask them if they want a picture? I'm like, no, be quiet. So one time someone asked me for a picture. Or he jokes around. He thinks it's funny. He's like, maybe they want an autograph.
Yusuf says that. Yeah. Or like when we would like separate, Yusuf would sometimes be like, you were a little awkward with that person.
Really?
Yeah, that's what he says. I'm like, Yani, what do you want me to say? You know? And he's like, well, maybe you should have taken a picture. I was like, what? I think I'm like Justin Bieber or something?
Yeah, like we're more humble than that. I think that's why we kind of have a problem with it. We're like, we're not gonna pretend.
Who am I?
Yeah.
Who am I to want or feel like, I don't know, you know?
I always say, I'm like, I'm a nobody. Okay, you guys, like, I'm a nobody. I'm a nobody who posts content on TikTok. That's literally it.
And I'm happy being a nobody.
And I'm happy being nobody. Yeah, like, but I really do think that we just get recognized more because we have a huge Islamic community here, you know? Yeah. Had we not, I don't, like, if I was in the middle of Minnesota, well, actually, there's a lot of Muslims there. If I was in the middle of Iowa or something, okay, I don't think that we would be recognized as much, you know?
Yeah.
But you know what? Even one time at Chick-fil-A, I went to Chick-fil-A and this girl, I don't know if she's Muslim or not. Maybe she's like Balkan. And she was like, are you on TikTok? And you know what? One time in my gym class, this girl was like, I've seen your videos on TikTok. I'm like, oh my God, I cannot escape this. I cannot. Yeah. I want to be incognito because that's how I am in real life. Okay, now we can wrap this up, right?
Yeah.
All right. So if you guys have any questions about content creating, I think we kind of hit the surface, but not really. I feel like there's so much more to say.
There's so much nuance and intricacies to talk about.
Yeah. So you guys, if you guys have any questions, let us know. And sorry that we've been away for a very long time, but inshallah we'll be a little bit better with it.